Hey guys, greetings. It's New York Dan. Hope everyone's having a great day. I got my shirt on here. This is actually a Bermuda shirt from Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. Well, appropriate because I was just watching a video Sarasota put up about cruising. Apparently, he's booked the other cruise. That's what I told you all about before. I said he's going to do a cruise. He said as soon as he gets back to Florida. So they've done it. They booked it. And he's going. I had to do this video because I saw what he was saying about the cruising and the stuff in his video, and some of it, a lot of it's ridiculous. It really is. I don't know why he's even doing this. I have a feeling it's because Miss Tammy basically is picking the cruise or pulling the strings. Okay, so he's going on this crazy Oasis class cruise ship. These are the largest cruise ships that Royal Caribbean makes or is sailing, so to speak. They are more akin to being at like one of these shopping malls than actually being on a ship. I've sailed on one myself. I'm speaking from experience. I've been on Harmony of the Seas. Probably a year ago from this past winter, I sailed on did a cruise on it, and let me tell you the problems with that ship. It's overcrowded because it's such a large ship. It has so much passenger capacity. Completely overcrowded. There's long lines for doing like everything on the ship, right? It has a lot of things that maybe like younger kids would find enjoyable on a cruise, but if you're an adult, you really don't need these things. It has a long slide. It's called the Abyss. From the back deck, it goes way down and spirals all the way down to like the main level deck where you have that aqua theater and junk like that. So you got that slide for kids. You also have the flow rider where people can try surfing. But the thing with the flow rider is you're going to keep falling down or wiping out. It's not really something. I'll be doubtful if Sarasota Tim goes on that and actually tries doing the flow rider, the surfing. I'd like to see him try it. I'll give him credit if he actually does it. But most of the problem with that is also there's always a long line to do it. So if you like waiting in line a lot, these cruises are great. They also, at every bar on that ship, there's been long lines. They had, when I went on it, they had like a piano lounge where you could sit down and listen to the guy do some singing, piano playing. I'll give you an example. It's not just that. It's almost everything on the ship. I would go to try to listen to the piano lounge. I'd always have to stand. There was never an empty seat. The only time I actually got to hear the piano player or enjoy the lounge on the last day of the cruise, when everyone's got to get up early to depart the ship the next day to disembark. The last day of the cruise, late at night, when everyone's asleep, which makes a lot of sense, right? I finally got a seat at the piano bar. I got to enjoy it a little bit, but the whole cruise is like this. Everything on the cruise. I wanted to do karaoke. The karaoke lounge is packed. You can barely get a chance to do it. There's some people, all they do on the whole cruise is karaoke. They go down there super early before it starts. They get a seat. It's like fighting for stuff on throughout the cruise. It's really not that enjoyable. Now, I actually have a video of all this stuff. If I go through my computer and get this stuff, it's one of those things where if you have a lot of time, you can dig through it and publish it. I will be putting it up at some point. First, I'm doing a great cruise coming up, which I keep talking about. It's coming up. But this Sarasota Tim, he's getting to be ridiculous. He went from living in a trailer, saying that he's a minimalist, right? earlier this week he put up videos where he went to the Cadillac dealer and he's like he's gawking over these new Cadillacs, saying which one's his favorite. Like he's in the market to buy one, right? And he's like 50 grand. That's a good price. That's what you're gonna pay for a new car these days. I think the Cadillac is the way to go. It's kind of ridiculous. He's going from trying to be a minimalist, retiree Social Security, to being like a high roller now. He got used to Vegas. He got used to casinos. Now he's doing cruises. He wants to live in the villages. He's looking for a Cadillac. What's next? He's gonna probably like join a yacht club and buy like a some kind of motor yacht to have in Florida, right? Or the country club. He'll be one of those guys. Maybe he'll be saying, I made my millions on YouTube. Yeah, I'm a celebrity now. He'll be lighting cigars with $100 bills. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So back to his wackiness of cruising, okay? It's complete wackiness. So he's bragging about he's got diamond status on RCL, Royal Caribbean. And apparently you get a few free drinks with that, but not much. These cruise lines, it's kind of a marketing gimmick the way they do this stuff. They'll give you a drink or two. That's it. He's talking about how he's done all these cruises, yet he has no passport. Now and he's like, you really don't need one unless you're going to Europe on a cruise. This is totally wrong, and you could get in a lot of trouble with this. First of all, when you go on the cruise, they will not let you board the cruise ship unless you have an official copy of your birth certificate. That's something you usually have to send away from the state that you were born in, and it costs money. I had to get an official copy of mine at one point. To apply for the passport, I believe you need it as well. I had to pay like $50 to $70 just to get the official copy of my birth certificate. Okay, now cruising with just a birth certificate is a little risky. First of all, I believe some of the cruise lines, like Carnival, I think they require a passport. They won't even take the official copy of your birth certificate. So it's only certain cruise lines that will accept this. And if you get to the cruise without the passport, you could end up losing the whole cost you paid for the cruise if they don't accept you onto the ship. That's number one. Number two is, if you're at a destination or you have a medical problem, you missed the cruise ship, you got off the ship for a while, you need the passport usually to take the flight back out of that country. These Caribbean islands, that's right, they're considered their own country. Just so people know, most of these Caribbean islands, it's like going to another country. It doesn't matter if you went to Europe. If you're leaving United States territory, you need that passport a lot of times to get back to the States, to board a flight, to get out of that country back to the States. So I say it's ill-advised to go on any cruise without first obtaining a passport. And if you're thinking about cruising, you better do the passport ASAP, because it can take up to 6 months to get the passport in your hand. You got to get that official birth certificate. You got to apply for this stuff. Depending upon the backlog and the time of year, it can take a while to get that passport. By the way, if you have a passport and it's expiring, like you're going on the cruise and it expires in like 6 months, a lot of times they give you trouble over that, or they will not let you go. You have to make sure you got plenty of time left on the passport, especially if you're traveling on a longer voyage. Got to be careful of this, but the passport's a must if you're doing cruising. Don't take Tim's advice on that birth certificate or just going with your license. That's very risky, and it's not. Only certain cruises will let you even do that on. So he brags about he's going on all these cruises, but the most ridiculous thing is they're all on these Oasis class ships, the biggest ships that Royal Caribbean has. He doesn't really do the smaller cruises, and he's missing out. He's also ripping himself off. These are the most expensive cruises on those mega ships that you'll find. They don't offer good deals when you're going on Oasis class ships. No, definitely not. He talks about he pays extra for Johnny Rockets on the ship. Yeah, that's right. There's upcharge restaurants on cruise ships. And depending upon the food that they have, you may find yourself going to these. I've been on cruises that went out of Florida, Miami. The food wasn't that good. If you take a cruise out of New York for whatever reason, maybe the provisions they load up with, the food is usually excellent from New York. If you go on MSC or Carnival, Norwegian, you can get some really good deals round trip out of New York, and the regular food is great. You don't even need the upcharge restaurants. But in any case, Johnny Rockets is not something I'd be paying an upcharge for. That's a joke and a half. That's like a diner with hamburgers, right? I'm sure the food on board, you can get a decent hamburger. You can put your own toppings on. You can do some extras with it to make it better. There's no reason to pay an upcharge for Johnny Rockets. That's ridiculous. If you're going to do an upcharge, you want to go to the steakhouse. You want to get something really good, filet mignon. You want a high-end experience, not Johnny Rocket. So, yeah, then he complains about the bed on the cruise ship. He wants it pillow-topped or extra blankets. He says it's too hard. Well, I've actually found the beds on the cruise ships are extremely comfortable. They're usually better than my bed at home. I find them to be top-notch, just like a nice hotel would have. So I don't really know what he's talking about with that one. He's talking about bringing on board chips and snacks. He says you can bring 2 wine bottles. That's true. You can bring 2 750 milliliter wine bottles on board. If you don't have the beverage package, it's a trade-off. You can lug on board some wine bottles to enjoy on the cruise. That's one option. He said you can bring soda bottles on board too. 12 packs of soda. But really, guys, who wants to lug this in their carry-on luggage or bring it to the ship, have to carry that bulky luggage? Even if the porter brings your bag on board, soda's not really healthy to drink anyway. Not really the thing. They have plenty of drinks on board, even if you don't have beverage package. They have drink machines where you can get juices, you can get water, lemonade, ice, coffee, teas, all for free. And you're probably better off just drinking that than to have unhealthy sodas. And bring some wine on board if you want. But I got to tell you, having the beverage package is really nice on a cruise because anywhere you go on the ship, there's bars all over the ship and in the restaurants. You're at breakfast, you can be like, bring me a mimosa from the bar for your breakfast drink. Whatever you'd like, you can get it without having to worry about paying for it. The drinks, it's usually unlimited or a ridiculous number. So, yeah, you go to dinner, you're like, bring me red wine. You want another glass? Fine. Tell the waiter ahead of time, I'd like 3 glasses of red wine. They'll do it. Sometimes they're like, we have to wait a few minutes before we put the next one in. But they'll do it. That's the cool thing about the beverage package. After dinner, you want some liqueur, maybe a Bailey's Irish Cream for dessert, right? You can get it for free if you have the beverage package. So say you're by the pool, you want like a rum punch. No problem. Even on some of the cruises, they have specialty cafes. The beverage package will work. I know on Royal Caribbean, you can get a milkshake at Johnny Rockets for free if you have the beverage package. However, when I was on there and tried to do that, I had to wait like 40 minutes to get the milkshake because the damn Oasis ships were so crowded. So that's some of the silliness. Uh, I think Sarasota's ripping himself off going on that damn Oasis. The other funny thing is, the Oasis class, you don't really need a ship that big if you're sailing from Florida just to Bahamas or Caribbean islands. Those waters are usually very calm, so the ship's not going to move much anyway if you're on a smaller cruise ship. One thing, this is ridiculous. He doesn't get off the ship anywhere he goes because he's paranoid because of the damn passport. It's craziness. He goes to these places. He just walks in the little ship gift shop when you get off at the dock. He doesn't take an excursion or see the local islands. That's real crazy stuff, guys. It's pretty much akin to going on your road trip and just stopping at the truck stops like Love's instead of actually seeing some of the small towns or doing some touring when you travel. I just can't believe that one. That one takes the cake. So, yeah, these are a few things I noticed when I watched his video about cruising. I just wanted to do a quick one here and go over some of this stuff because I'm an expert cruiser. I've been on many more cruises than Tim, and I've been on many different cruise ships. I'm not just doing a one-trick pony deal. I've actually sailed across the ocean, too, doing transatlantic. I'll do more cruise videos. They're coming up on my channel as soon as I get time. You're going to see on my live cruise that I'm doing on Carnival, too. That's coming up. Subscribe to so you don't miss it. Definitely. It's free. All right, guys. Hey, hit thumbs up. Hope everyone has a great day or a great evening. And, yeah, hey, I'll see you in the next one. We'll be on the edge of our seats for Tim's cruise adventure, see what he puts up, and hopefully even mine. Actually, if I was just a viewer, I'd be more on the edge of the seat for my cruise adventure because it's a lot different than what Tim's is going to be. All right, guys, see you later.